14 for Kelowna. Checking back into the game here is Gunther. Finding Saroa. Little handoff there to Hatskovic. They go down low on the baseline, and that is dangerous for Kelowna because that is one quick first step from Penny Bacata. She is going to go right on the baseline, right to the basket. Does not start on this basketball team, but if that's the case, she looks like one of the better 6 players in the province. She made a great decisive move to the basket. So Hatskovic's first of the game. So Caitlin LaFontaine to the free throw line here for the second of her 2 free throws. Will rim out. Gunther now again getting her team up the floor. Kelowna extending that zone and playing it aggressively. They're going to get a steal out of that zone. That is Caitlin LaFontaine getting down the floor, but I believe Saroa getting down there as well defensively, gets a hand on the ball, snuffs out that play. Great hustle by Serena Saroa, the 5'8" senior guard forward. Gives them another shot at. We talked about this Kelowna zone extending out almost to half court, and for the second time in a row, they're going to get a turnover. This time it's going to result in Corrado's easy layup. She goes uncontested from just inside of half court. Mouat really turning up the screws on defense here, and it is a game paying off. It will go off Corrado, though, and it'll stay with the Hawks. Kelowna's got a lot to like about the way they're playing defensively right now. Great responsibility here as they extend that zone, but and again, another turnover off of that play. This time LaFontaine guarding Hatskovic, who gets called for the step. So the Owls getting a ton of possessions here down the stretch drive of this opening half. They are going to take a jump shot just inside the three-point arc, and that is Caitlin LaFontaine. Cuts it to 10 points. We talked about this double-digit cushion Mouat's built early here and been able to maintain it. Got, believe as much as 14 or 16 points here in this opening half, but Kelowna keeps coming back, and that's Kapawai. This zone is really paying dividends and flashing for availability down the floor. Number 15 is Kiana Lalonde. Very excited to be wide open down the floor, and her opening shot there hits the underside of the rim. She gets it back and puts it home. Kelowna here making a bit of a run, cutting it into 8 points now, 42-34. We're under a minute remaining here in the opening half of play. 55.4 seconds the time in the opening half of play here. Lisa Neverall talking to her charges in the timeout, telling them not to get stagnant. I know exactly what she's saying. Don't play static if you're going to play the way they're playing right now. Don't sit back even though you're playing in a zone. Play it aggressively and meet the ball and play aggressive, and it's paid dividends here for Kelowna. They have created a multitude of turnovers here late in this first half of play. Corrado, Lalonde, Kapawai, Caitlin LaFontaine, and Brooke Briscoe, the 5 Owls on the floor right now. So the Bacatas, Hatskovic, Saroa, and Gunther, the Hawks on the floor, and here we go, under a minute remaining. That zone pressure extending beyond half court. The Hawks break it with Gunther. Now Kelowna settling back. We'll see how they play this. Don't think that was a shot attempt. It looked like a bit of a lob inside to Bacata, but again the Owls get the turnover. And they are down the floor quickly. That is LaFontaine seeing the dividends of aggressive basketball. Taking it right at her defender. And that's Hatskovic. So Melina's second of the game, and LaFontaine giving the Sal's basketball team some great minutes off the bench. That second free throw, however, will rim out. Bakata with the rebound, wrestling forward on the floor, and this time the arrow is going to favor the Owls. Amber Beasley set the check in now for Hatzkovich. Kelowna figuring it out here as this first half has progressed. They are playing controlled, aggressive basketball. They're sharing it, and they're also knocking down jump shots. That's Kiana Lalonde just inside the three-point arc, and Kelowna on a huge run here to cut it to 42-37. Soroa hitting that high three off the glass. It was 36-22. Is that correct? That is a 20-1 run. And we will check that. That is not correct, obviously. It's too early in the morning for me. I'm not doing my math correctly. It's a 15-6 run to end the half. And Kelowna's defense really doing a great job. So the Hawks have to regroup here and find that intensity. That 10-point cushion remained for so much of that opening half of play, but had to love the way Kelowna played defense down the stretch and created so many turnovers with that zone. Played it aggressively and played it well, and play there really is very effective with her strength in the block. Here is Bakata, Penny Bakata, kicking back out to Gunther for three, and Jesse Gunther will knock down the three ball from the baseline corner. A big basket here for the Mouat Hawks, putting them up by two. 54-52 the score for Mouat. Here is Corrado dribbling through the entire Mouat team, kicking it back out. And LaFontaine with a turnaround move to the basket. She gets collared as she drives to the basket, and the aggression factor here on the offensive end for Kelowna is night and day compared to the first half of play. They're getting free throw trips and matching everything Mowat's throwing at them right now. LaFontaine unable to hit the first free throw. Talked about her play off the bench in the opening half of play as she swishes the second. It's a one-point game. Mouat has the 1-point lead here, 3:29 remaining in the third quarter of play. It's the opening game of the 2013 BC Senior Girls AAA Basketball Championships here at the LEC. Howard Samura along with you and calling all the collisions here from courtside. That's a great defensive play. Madison Barton recently checked into this game for Briscoe, and she stands in there and draws the charge. Big momentum boost on the defensive end for Kelowna as they now take over offensively. Ooh, close call there, but they get it inside to LaFontaine. She's trying to drive on the baseline, holding her ground well. Meldina Hatzkovich. Kelowna now wanting to get through this next series, and they do. They get the stop, and they're set to check in. Ton of key players, Kapawai, Lalonde, and Briscoe, I believe, all at the minor officials table, set to check in for the Owls. Three frontline starters now coming into the game here for Kelowna, trailing by one, and Jada Stanhope will join that group, so massive changes on the floor. Kelowna's bench doing a sensational job here. So with 2:40 remaining, four Kelowna starters now checking back into the game. 54-53 Mouat the score. Kelowna coming up short. There's Gunther with the pass to Penny Bakata in the open floor. She is dangerous. She might have skipped a bit there as she came down on that drive. But that is a huge, huge blow to the Owls, because Stanhope was in the game for 12 seconds, and she picks up her fourth foul of the game. As Penny Bakata steps up to shoot some free throws and hits the first of two. We had mentioned Kelowna bringing in four starters. Bakata hits the second, and she makes Kelowna pay. Stanhope had sat for an extended stretch with those 3 fouls, comes in and 12 seconds later had to go back to the bench here. But if Kelowna's overall energy within their group stays, they should be fine here against Mouat. This is such a competitive game at this point. There's a loose ball off the offensive glass, and Carmel Bacata, off her sister's miss, is going to put it back, and Mouat making a bit of a run here, leading by 5 with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter of play. Skip pass inside to Kapawai. She's got the turnaround move that won't go in. That is Hadskovich scooping it up. Gunther now crosses half court. Jesse Gunther driving to the corner. Saroa cross court to Penny Bacata. Bacata takes a couple of dribbles and pulls up against the defender. Can't get the shot to fall. We're going up and down the floor now. Here's Briscoe to Corrado. Great head fake move on the baseline to draw the contact from Hatskovic down low. Kiana Lalonde is going to get some free throws. So Hatskovic, as you may have heard there from the PA announcer, the third foul of her game here today. Lalonde missing the first free throw. This is turning into a heck of a basketball game, and there's an offensive rebound down low by Jordan Nicholas. Hasn't seen a lot of time in this game, but comes up with a big offensive rebound and gets right back to the free throw line. It's going to come up well short on the first. Just the overall aggression, a huge change in this game. As we mentioned, Kelowna just 6 free throw trips in the opening half. They've had 6 in the last minute probably in this game. Nicholas makes the second, making it a 4-point Mouat lead at this point of the basketball game. Here is Gunther to Saroa, who finds a bit of a lane. She sees Kapawai there and doesn't react as she drives to the basket. A turnover called there as Amber Beasley hustles up to check into this game. She will replace Carmel Bacata. Beasley, Hatskovic, Saroa, Gunther, and Penny Bacata, your Mouat starters on the floor. Here is Lalonde, the skip pass. Down low to Nicholas. They turn the ball over, and Gunther is going 1-on-2 down the floor. She'll reverse direction, reset Hatskovic to Beasley to Saroa. Serena, great drive and kick to Hatskovic, creates a wide open shot, but they are unable to knock down that shot. Nicholas gets the ball back up. Here's Lalonde to Briscoe, little hesitation move. Beasley playing very well defensively on the baseline, is able to stop that pass. Is LaFontaine on the floor. Both of these teams using their benches, while Kelowna really using its bench in this game. There's a steal though. Saroa, I believe, with the steal, and Gunther quickly gets her team back down the floor. We're up to 28 seconds here remaining in the third quarter of play. That is Beasley shaking off her check. Going to the basket, a loose ball on the floor. I believe that was Nicholas who fell to the ground, or check that, LaFontaine. A little bit of 5-on-4 there for a while, but the Owls recover, scrambling after a loose ball, but it will stay with the Hawks. 8.8 seconds here remaining in the third quarter. Going into the half, Kelowna clearly in control with their momentum as they came back from a big 14-point deficit, but credit Mouat here in the third quarter, check that, for regaining a bit of traction here. Both teams now settling into a groove, and we're going to have an excellent fourth quarter of play here. Mouat inbounding the ball. Penny Bacata quickly back out to Saroa, who takes a 35-footer, 40-footer at the third quarter buzzer, and it won't go. So we will take a real quick break here. If I could just take a look at some stats.